Get ready for a night full of big fights and big action. It's UFC 303, and it can be even bigger. Jump in on all the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. It's super easy for first-timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking a fighter to win. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your fighter, and place your first bet. It's that simple.
The light heavyweight title is on the line in the main event, but there are so many more amazing matchups happening in Vegas. And speaking of amazing, if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Jenkins. That's code Jenkins for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Get that big fight feel only on DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Welcome to Jenkins and Jones on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Friday, June 28th, and we're so excited to talk about the NBA draft. All your draft analysis here on Jenkins and Jones, as always.
All four people we know in the fucking draft. Let's talk about them.
Two people. Bronny and the Knecht. As always, Jenkins and Jones, hosted by Dragonfly Jonez, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a gun.
LaJethero Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's that, Bubbas?
I'm Guardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Fucking Mike.
Oh, you let that one rip there, buddy. I tell you that.
You made me uncomfortable. Deep in those tonsils, pause and a half.
This nigga tweet. Deep in them tonsils.
You were vibrating that throat on a level I've never heard before.
You're the one who did it.
You're the one who did it.
Deep in them tonsils. Man, let's get to the fucking basketball.
You were doing a subwoofer off a part of the throat I wasn't aware existed. Produced as always by the lovely and talented Jackson Saffon.
Oh,
All right. We are going to start by talking about the only thing that anyone is talking about right now, as always, which is the 55th pick of the NBA draft, the most sanctified, important pick
every year
of the NBA draft. That's on the top of the list every year. I want your guys' takes on the Lakers taking Bronny, making history as LeBron and LeBron James Jr. Will be the first father-son duo in the NBA on the same team in history. I have a very strong opinions about this, and I'm also curious about your guys' opinions. So, Tyler, what did you think of the Lakers move and what it is for Bron and for his son and for us as fans of their family and of basketball?
It was extreme reactions on both sides of this, as expected, if the Lakers wound up with Bronny. And, I think that just your reaction to this is just a litmus test about how you feel about Bron. That's what it all boils down to, right? Like, if you dislike Bron, you're going to have an issue with this. If you like Bron, you love this. And I think that's just basically what it comes down to, because the people who are taking issue with this do not really give a shit about nepotism in the NBA. I'm not really buying that. I don't think, because, we don't see this outrage for the Nassus. The Nassus is a little jokey joke. You know what I mean?
Come on, right.
Right. Like we laugh at how, Giannis pulled that string to get his brother there. But it's like people are not laughing who are against this, right? It's not a little jokey joke with Bronny. People legitimately are upset about this. And I personally do not give a shit. I mean, this is something that Bron has been talking about, being in the works for years, about how he wanted to play with Bronny. And, we finally got there. So.
And also with the Nationals, we almost celebrated. We just don't laugh. We like, look at him. What a great big brother. You know what I'm saying? But with Bron, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead. A lot of people, give the Bucks their props, like, way to go to keep your star player happy. A guy in a foreign land, and you got his brother there to keep him comfortable, right? Like a lot of us give the Bucks props for keeping that roster spot open for the Nationals.
I mean, for me, when I first heard it, I was just amazed. I'm like, look at this dude, where he's came from, what he's created, and he's manifested his life. He's created the life he's created to this point, where he's manifested his son playing on the same team as him. You know what I'm saying? How fucking truly amazing. And then also I'm like, bro, y'all feel differently, but I'm like, yo, we ain't winning no chip next year. You know what I mean? Bro, might as well play with your fucking son. Go out playing with your shorty. I love it. But regardless, if the 55th fucking pick is the difference between a chip and not, nigga. That is the worst place on the fucking planet to be. When has a 55th pick ever meant anything to a fucking team? Very like what, one out of every 10,000. You know what I'm saying? 55th picks, if there've even been that many. You know, like, has there been a 55th pick that made a difference in the NBA? It's just so crazy that people are so mad about the 55th pick. But yo, I love it. I'm glad he gets to play with his son. He talked about it so much. This is like the final, you know what I'm saying? This is like the final thing he wanted in the NBA. You know, he's done so much in the NBA. He's given the NBA fans, you know what I'm saying, as a Bron fan, I say that, you know, so much. And now he gets to play with his son. I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I'm glad the Lakers decided to give him that wish, G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Manu went 57. That's like the only player in the 50s who I know.
And then I think Isaiah Thomas were pretty late too, right? Little Tom. Yeah. IT.
He went 60.
Yeah. So I mean, there's, but that's two. And how long we've been watching basketball?
Well,
you know
let's. I've got some stat work, but I want to sit on what John said for a second, because that was my first reaction too. My son is jumping around screaming when the Lakers drafted Bronny, because that's his guy. You know, that's Bron's son, and he was just so excited. He was like, can you, like, as a 10-year-old, he's like, can you imagine how cool this would be? It's like, no, I can't imagine. And, you know, anyone who's a dad has that moment where you're in the hospital, the reality is sitting on your shoulders of like, what the fuck? Just, this is another person. Like, there were two of us when we got to the hospital, and there's three of us in the room right now. Like, what the fuck is going on?
And when you drive home, it's like, what, I just go home with? Like, yeah. You feel me?
You're holding your baby, you got two hands under the head, because you're like, is the head going to fall off if I don't? I mean, you don't know what the fuck you're doing. But you're looking at your baby. And if you're, you know, every dad I know, you're thinking about, you're seeing into the future. You're like, this person is going to be here when I'm not here. Like, what is the future going to look like? All this other shit. Never in your wildest dreams are you thinking, oh, we're going to be on the Lakers together. And if you can't appreciate, like you talked about with the Nassus, if you can't appreciate, hi, Somi, baby. Hi.
She ran in here.
Somebody said, I heard it's a YouTube live.
We talking babies.
Right. We talking about babies. Let me show you baby. Hair ain't cold, none of that shit. But go ahead.
Somebody making her YouTube live debut with the bedhead.
What's up? Say what's up. She ain't gonna say it. Let's go.
But yeah, I mean, I just, if you can't appreciate the human part of that, then why are you a sports fan? I mean, like, that's, some of that stuff has to mean something to you. But I have two important cases that I would like to make, and I won't be too long on it. But number one is the 55th pick of the NBA draft is not worth jack shit. And number two, Bronny is actually, leave aside, is black nepotism good? Leave aside, are they keeping Bron happy? I think it's a good fucking pick. I think it's a good pick. But let me read you the history of the 55th pick. Patty Mills, I'll tell you right now, spoiler alert, Patty Mills is the only 55th pick you've ever heard. Thanasis was taken 51st in the NBA draft. Once you hit 5 on the NBA draft, if you follow the NBA draft, this fucking crapshoots, bro. It's like, let's take a shot on someone. The dude picked 2 picks after Bronny. They're talking about they could stash him in the G League for 3 years, and maybe he'll be a third string center. That's maybe. The level. That's the level that we're talking about in the late 50s in the NBA draft. Okay. Every NBA number 55 pick ever add their career scoring up, and it's 12,000 points less than Bron. All right. There has never been one 55th pick who is an all-star, who is all NBA, who is all rookie, or who is an all defensive pick at any point in their career. That's the level of pick we're talking about. I'm going to run you through these names. Raise your hand when you heard of someone. Isaiah Wong scored 2 points last year. 2 points for the Pacers last year.
I have heard of Isaiah Wong because his last name is Wong, and he played for Miami. Shout
and
out
he
Isaiah
scored
Wong,
2 points in the NBA last year as last year's number 55 overall draft pick. Guy Santos, Aaron Wiggins, Jay Scrubb, Kyle Guy, Arnoldos Kulboka, Nigel Williams-Goss, Marcus Page, Katie LaLanne, Samaj Kristen, Joffrey Laverne, Darius Johnson Odom, Etwan Moore, Jeremy Evans. Patty Mills in 2009 is the greatest 55th pick in NBA draft history. And I like Patty Mills, but that's the pick that you're caping over the sanctity of the Lakers violating. That was 15 years ago was Patty Mills was taken and is by far the leader in the clubhouse for best 55th pick ever. Now, here's LeBron
Marcus
James
Page
Jr.
should have been a better 55th pick. It didn't work out, though. I liked Marcus.
And was Aaron Wiggins, is that Andrew's brother?
Oh,
Aaron Wiggins is currently on the Thunder, and he's like okay.
Yeah.
But I don't.
You
I don't think it's
sometimes
Andrew's
get
brother,
an okay player out of that spot. That's your
Sometimes you get a third string center out of the 55th. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you get a dude that doesn't play in the NBA. That happens fairly frequently as well. So if you look on the Pro Basketball Reference, if you look at the 55th picks, some of them do not have the blue hyperlink on their name because they did not play in the National Basketball Association.
I mean, a lot of times they are waived, aren't they? You know what I mean? They don't even make the team. Yeah, so go ahead.
So that's the history of the 55th pick. Now, if all you're doing is keeping LeBron James happy, if it's a Thanasis pick, I still don't think there's anything wrong with that. LeBron James chose to come to the Lakers when we actually were in a bit of a drought of superstars wanting to come to the Lakers. He got Anthony Davis to the Lakers. He got a championship to the Lakers. If you're using the 55th pick, I mean, if you want to say, I don't think they should have hired his homie to coach the team who had no coaching experience, I think that's a valid argument.
For sure.
But the 55th pick for LeBron James, like who gives a shit? But the argument that I would make is you leave that aside, and I think it's a good pick. If you're telling me at 55, you have a guy available who was second in the combine in three-point shooting, 19 and 25, who was the fourth best vert at the combine of all of the incoming rookies, who had a very good shuttle drill and all the agility drills were good. Why not?
In a very, very bad draft. You know what I'm saying?
Like, who did you want them to take that you think was going to make a difference that was available other than this kid? And I'm not saying he's going to come in and make a difference, but there's the possibility, there's an upside that because of the medical issues and everything else, that we haven't gotten to see the best version of it. And I'll tell you this, I didn't feel that way before the NBA Combine. I had him where all the NBA scouts had him, somewhere from 100 to infinity. In a 60-player draft. He wasn't there. ESPN had him ranked, guess where? 54th in the draft class after the combine because he was second in three-point shooting and he was fourth in vert. And when you get down past 50, that's really noteworthy. That's worth a shot where you're not paying very much for it. You're paying something like a 55th overall draft pick. So I truly don't understand from any direction, any sort of negative reaction to this. Again, who did you want them to pick there that you thought was going to make a difference on this Lakers team? Give me a fucking break.
Yeah. And I think from a basketball perspective, all they're going to ask of Bronny is to defend and catch and shoot, right? Like, which is pretty much the type of role player you need to be to play with Bron. Like we've talked before about whenever we're discussing which role players will fit with Bron, that question ultimately boils down to, is this a guy who can cash out on Bron's driving kicks more or less, right? And is this a guy who can defend, right? And I think that's all that we're asking of him. And from a basketball perspective, like Bron is going to maximize you in those areas. And this is a dude who he knows better than anyone. He doesn't watch film on Bronny. He watches games on Bronny in person, right? Like this is a dude who he knows the type of basketball player he is thoroughly because he lives with the guy. He watched his progression as a basketball player. So from a basketball perspective, I think it makes sense. And like you said, it's a 55th pick, bro. Like who gives a shit? It's a 55th fucking pick.
I wonder how many minutes the 55th picks have played in their career. Like what's their average point per game? Like Bronny might not touch the court. You know what I'm saying? Right. He might play 4.5 minutes the entire year, like most other 55th picks. He'll probably he could spend a ton of time in the D League. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like the G League. You feel me? Like, but I just don't understand like why people are so frustrated over like you said, Tyler, he's a guy that if he plays, he does fit what Bron needs, but the chances of him playing are the chances of another 55th pick playing, which is it's nothing. You know what I mean? So nepotism. If he was a fucking lottery pick, I get it. You know,
if they picked him 17th, I'd be furious.
If they picked him in the first round, you know what I'm saying? All right, that's kind of nasty. You know what I mean? The 55th pick, literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just they gave up nothing there to make a very amazing thing happen. You know what I'm saying? And to keep a guy that, like you said, brought him a chip, came to LA when people didn't want to go to LA. You feel me? When's the last time LA was in the playoffs prior to Bron coming? You feel what I'm saying? Like
I don't want to go back to the before times, dog.
You feel me? Like, dog, you know what I mean? Like, it's nasty. And it's also just ridiculous. Who cares?
I've also been really grossed out by the number of people who are pretending to be arguing on Bronny's behalf. Like, why would he put so much pressure on his son? You know, is this really what Bronny wants, or is it what Bron wants? You don't know that family. You don't know that family any more than the people on TV saying, isn't this a beautiful moment for a father and a son? But for the people saying, like, is this really what he wants? The man's father is one of the richest people on earth, and he had a fucking heart attack playing basketball and chose to come back. It's what he wants to do with his life. Did his dad crack a door open further for him? Without fucking question.
Good for him, because God knows I do the exact fucking same. And if you're a parent and you're not, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying?
But also,
what type of parent is you? Nigga?
He got him to the combine, right? The kid showed the fuck out at the combine. The kid jumped 60 spots at the combine.
He didn't shoot for him. Bron wasn't in there putting the jumpers up. He wasn't running the drills for him. And also think about this. People talking about Bron hate. Last year, Bron was at the fucking hospital waving off fucking paparazzi. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hoping his son was just, you know, like we didn't know nobody knew what the fuck was going on. You know what I mean? How could you not be happy for that family? You know what I mean? Like, dog. It's just insane to me. Like, that's what type of hate you have? Where, like, that kid last year was in the hospital. Wondering he's going to play basketball again. Is he healthy? And now he's got his name called in the NBA, playing on his dad's team. His 55th pick matters none at all.
His hometown
team. You still
team.
Find a way to be mad.
His hometown team.
Find a way to be mad.
Right.
Come on, man.
I like
unnecessary.
People like, he's putting unnecessary pressure on him. He's making it about him. His name is LeBron James Jr. And what he chose to do with his life was not make 4 mixtapes and retire. He chose to play basketball. Like,
also, you deciding what that man knows, like, you know that nigga, you're weird. You know what I'm saying? That's some weird ass shit. He's putting too much pressure on him. What's LeBron's middle name, nigga? What's his favorite meal, nigga? You feel me? You're like, nigga, you don't know shit about this man, but you know it's too much pressure for him. Shut the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Damn. I be shut the fuck up sometimes. It's normal. It's necessary at times. Come on, bro. I know what I'm talking to my wife, because she be right all the time. Damn, I be shut the fuck up a lot in this house, goddamn. But anyway, that's another subject.
Yeah,
I'll be tired of being wrong, but go ahead,
bro. You just cannot do the whole, well, if I was Bronny or if I was like, you can't do that, bro. There's just no frame of reference for this. This is that father son duo is a extremely the most unique father son duo on the fucking planet in this regard. You know what I mean? So no, it's like you said, we don't know these people. You can't rush to those assumptions, because this is just a very, very unique situation where I said there's no frame of reference for it, bro. And especially, you know, I don't want to go Bron after the 2011 finals loss presser here, but bro, like, it's different being an NBA Nepo kid and you know, working at a fucking, you know, law firm or a PR firm, and you get your kid a job or some shit, right? Like, it's worlds apart, bro. There's no comparison.
No, there's no compare. The only people who could really even remotely compare to it or know what they're doing is Ken Griffey Sr. and Ken Griffey Jr. And you know what the Griffey said? They said, we'll be in the fucking front row courtside the first game Bronny's going to play in, because there's not a lot of people who understand how special that moment is, and we do.
Golly. Can't imagine.
Literally can't imagine. All right. I just like, I know this is the general brokenness of this is why JJ Redick would prefer to be an NBA coach over a podcaster, but like we're just so broken as the sports media and everything. But like this has to be a referendum on nepotism. Like, is that like the second round of the NBA draft? We're gonna like, is nepotism bad?
The 55th pick is nepotism. You barely made
and
it.
Again,
in.
to your
You
point,
know what I mean? Like, nigga, you like, welcome to the G League. You know what I mean? Nepotism. That's just nasty, bro.
But I feel the same way as I did about some of the Hollywood nepotism shit, bro. You can debate the moral good or bad of it if you want. It's the same as debating the moral good or bad of my cat chasing and eating a bird. It exists. It will always exist. There's nothing you can do legislatively about it. If a director's kid grew up on sets, guess what he's probably going to want to be? A director.
You feel me?
Like, and I'll tell you right now, my son on the 1 million scale of this, he'll absolutely be one of the 562 high school interns. He's grown up around sports writers his whole fucking life. That's a really easy call. I won't even be in on the call. The other guys will be on the call. But guess what? Yeah, he knows how to take stats because his fucking dad's a sports writer. Sounds good.
And also, to your point, Mike, about the combine, this is the one place where with nepotism, you can have hard, objective reasons why this person could be here. He has one of the best wingspans relative to his height in the draft. He has one of the best verticals in the draft. He outshot everyone else at the combine.
Yes.
Like these are actual
if you
reasons that he got.
If you want to get real dorky with like basketball analysts, the whole height thing, because I'll give you, he's short for the NBA. You talk about a 3-and-D guy, you're not usually talking about a 6'1.5", 6'2" guy. I understand that 100%. That's why I wouldn't have wanted them to use the 17th pick on him. But
right.
NBA analysts do not give a motherfuck about your height. They care about your wingspan and they care about your vert. And he had the fourth best vert. And his wingspan is bigger than Austin Reeves's. He's got a 6'7.25" wingspan. That's your height in basketball is your wingspan. You're not blocking the ball with your fucking head. Like
also defensively,
I was looking it up.
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
That's what, yeah.
Right. So I was looking it up. Who is like a body type, like someone who's short but long arms, good defender. He has almost the exact same height and wingspan as Dennis Schroeder. Someone who is, by all accounts, a very, very good defender in the NBA for guarding point guards. Who like played well against Steph Curry in the playoffs 2 years ago. Like that's the exact same.
And if he's not,
and with a lower vert,
and if he's not, he's one of the 14 out of 15 55th picks who don't make an impact in the NBA.
Period.
But you said it with the combine. Why have the combine if this kid's draft stock isn't going to go up after the combine? What's the point then? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's the point of having these dudes get together and see who with the dinner plate in front of you, who can fucking nut up and hit the threes, right? I mean, like, what's the point of doing it then if it doesn't mean anything to get you into the conversation for one of the last 6 picks of the fucking draft? All right. I think if we covered the are we good?
Though, bro.
Good on Bronny?
Yeah. It's insane, bro. It's weird. I was actually surprised. One of the few times I was surprised. I thought people would understand like how amazing that is, and I thought it was a 55th pick. It's nothing. It's meaningless. I was surprised. I didn't get too deep into it, but I saw responses. I was like, oh, that's weird. Y'all really ain't fucking with this. And then before us talking, where it was a lot of people who generally we agree with wholeheartedly speaking on the, I'm like, nigga, what? It's very odd. You know what I'm saying? But like Tyler said, it's a litmus test. Like, a lot of people don't like Bron, and they're showing it because this is truly beautiful, and they gave up nothing to make this happen.
Yeah.
Can I get my not serious Laker hater take off though?
I guess.
Do you guys know who Maxwell Lewis is? You heard that name before?
No.
Maxwell Lewis currently has the lowest payroll, the lowest salary of any player actively on a guaranteed contract at the Los Angeles Lakers. Maxwell Lewis is probably going to get waived, so Bronny James can have a roster spot. LeBron James is taking the hard-earned money out of the pockets of Maxwell Lewis, a guy who has worked his whole life to get to this place. He has worked his whole life to grind, to get an NBA roster spot. I'm gonna cancel Maxwell
Lewis by the end of this segment.
LeBron James is taking money out of that man's pockets to get his son.
Oh, I know Max Lewis.
Billionaire.
Max Lewis played
a
at
roster
Pepperdine.
spot.
I do know Max Lewis. I heard he's
does
not
he
a great
come from
dude.
money?
Oh,
Because
nice.
Maxwell Lewis sounds like a rich ass fucking name.
No, I just look. He black. He black. I looked him up.
No, he's good. No, he's-
yeah.
Damn,
No,
black
he's-
people
Looked him up.
he's-
money.
I'm
Just
just
kidding.
cool.
I
I
thought the
don't even
same
know
thing,
who
and I was
this
gonna be
was.
like, if he was a sharp faced motherfucker, fuck this mother. You know what I mean? But
I'm just
but
kidding.
yeah,
anyways. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
anyways.
Hey, Maxwell Lewis will always have that in-season tournament championship ring. You know what I mean? Like,
think
he's got a
that's
retirement
Maxwell.
plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I like if
Maxwell Lewis will go overseas if he gets waived and make $1 $500,000. He'll have a great life. You know what I mean?
I'm
So,
just
yeah,
kidding. Max Lewis will be fine.
Probably play 20 years. But go ahead.
all right. Yay, nepotism. Okay, let's talk about the Lakers. We were joking about how many guys in the draft were there that you had heard of.
You got me feeling bad for Maxwell Lewis, though, honestly.
I know he kind
I
of
know
got
it
me
was a
in the
joke, but
chest
I was
with the
like,
Maxwell
damn,
Lewis.
I think I'm looking at Maxwell. Not Maxwell.
His Wikipedia says his dad coaches rec youth teams in Las Vegas. You know what I mean? He plays
Not
jazz. He's a
Maxwell.
saxophonist.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right.
It's like, damn. They're gonna cut the
Not
saxophonist
the
for this little
saxophonist.
rich motherfucker.
What a billionaire. That was so nasty. Oh,
Fuck you,
man.
Jackson.
Jackson, you brought
That
some,
was-
hey,
that
you
felt pretty
put a
good.
lot of
That felt
salt in
pretty
this
good.
podcast right now, dog.
That felt pretty
Look at
good.
this
That
shit.
felt pretty good.
Can I
Let me
tell
see
you my
it.
joke take? And then you hit us with a fucking zinger?
Yeah.
It's like you slap box.
I'm
you
not
I'm trying to
slap
see
boxing
if-
and you
I'm not
close
serious about
fist
it.
hooked my ass, nigga. Like, come on, G.
I'm
Crazy.
I feel like the James Foundation or whatever is gonna like slide that dude a
I
cool
would
$2
hope
million
to.
under his
I would hope
under his
to.
door or
You
something.
know what I'm
you know?
saying?
I think he'll
They
be
can
all
afford
right.
to drop a little 10 in there. You know, that ain't nothing. That's light change for a Billy.
enjoy.
You know what I mean?
Okay, his favorites enjoys thrifting and playing 2K. Favorites include
Oh.
Kobe Bryant. So he
Don't tell me
understands.
anymore.
Oh, he's
No,
the
no, don't
Lakers
tell
are
me.
his favorite team.
he
He understands, bro. The Lakers are his favorite team, bro. He gets it. He gets it.
If Max Lewis gets a fat check under his door, I would love 1% of that. That'd be awesome.
Brian heard
let me
the
see
pod
if
and was
he's-
like, I'll slide him something. Is that what you're trying to say?
Let me see.
Yeah, yeah. If the inspiration comes from this
From
podcast.
Jackie Hoops.
Okay, he's got a Twitter. Let me search Trump on here real quick.
That's not. Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. He
Yeah.
played with one of my little homies at Pepperdine. He's a good dude. I got nothing against
Yeah.
Maxwell Lewis, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
maybe they'll waive. Maybe they'll waive someone else who Jackson has not given us biographical info on. All right, what do we think about the Lakers? The Lakers took 2 of the 4 dudes that we'd heard of in the draft, so we'll take it. What do y'all think of the Dalton Knecht pick? I had people. One of my best friends is a huge Tennessee fan. He texted me. They just drafted Kyle Korver. That's what he texted me.
Mhm.
What do you think of his fit with the Lakers, and you know what that does potentially do in terms of potentially making an impact in the upcoming season?
Well, you know, like you said, that's like one of the 3 or 4 guys who we actually knew in the draft. I remember John dropped like a little highlight reel of him in a group chat a few months back. So, you know, I'm by no means a fucking draft pundit, a draft expert, but from what I saw, you know, in his college play, I mean, he seems like a baller. He seems like a very good offensive player. The dude got bunnies. He got a Jimmy. Like, we'll see, man.
My little brother, actually played with Dalton in the rec when he was young, and he said that motherfucker was cold as a middle schooler. My brother was in high school at the time. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so he's kept up with him throughout. I think he transferred a couple times, but he kept up with him. And I hit my brother, you know, he young, so he's still watching college basketball. Like, he all into the fucking weeds of all sports, you feel me? He ain't got shit to do. He just but work and be a young nigga, you know what I'm saying? Work and have a 6-pack without working for it, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's all he got to do, you know what I mean? But he said, yo, the dude cold, he a dog, you know what I mean? And so that's who got me hip to him. For real. So I started watching him a little bit. But yeah, the man, he's a scorer. You know what I mean? I don't think he can play D that well. But I mean, he ain't out there for that. You know, they got guys that can do that type shit. You feel me? So yeah, I think it's a good pick. It's a good 17th pick.
I think that's sort of, if you're reading, as we discussed with Claire on the last show, if you're reading the tea leaves on what Rob Pelinka was talking about the new CBA making it difficult to just turn draft picks into a third superstar, and wanting to hire a coach who is going to be very pro player development, because they need to develop Rui and Oster. They need to develop the guys that they have. Dalton Knecht seems like someone who's exactly in that model. He has a hopefully NBA ready skill set in terms of scoring. And then he's got the frame and everything to have the ability to play defense. And so that's what you're hoping, that JJ Redick is going to come in and teach him how to go from being dog shit on defense to being okay on defense. That's what the Lakers have to suddenly become good at. And they don't have a great record of player development. So they have to become a team that can take guys who could take Rui and turn him into a great offensive rebounder, who can improve on things, not just go into the toy box, find 5 toys that would be fun to play with, and roll them out on the court. So it's a good test, I think, for what the Lakers have said they want their new team identity to be.
He's solid offense. He's solid as far as like athletically, you know what I mean? And I think that's important to defense. You know what I mean? 6'6", 6'7", something like that. You know what I mean? So good size. You know, I feel like you could turn him into a serviceable defender where if he's on the court, you know, he's just not getting fried. You feel me? But like, dog, this motherfucker's dropping 30 balls in college. They're like, college games are what? Like 16 minutes? You know what I mean? Like 30 balls in college is crazy, dog.
Right.
Like, so yeah.
Like I was watching the draft and they're like, he led the Big East in scoring at 15.8 points per game. Like,
right.
Okay, you know?
Bro, he can score. He's a bucket. It's just like, you know, and I think with the size and athleticism, it will translate well. So we'll see. But I think it's a good pick.
All right. We actually have not talked about this, and I know that fired NBA coach is all of our dream job. So I just wanted to reflect on Monty Williams being fired from the Detroit Pistons and now collecting, I believe it's upwards of $50 million from 2 jobs that he is not currently working. That was the weariest look I've ever seen from John Nichols right there. When I said $50 million for 2 jobs he's not doing.
Congratulations to that man. I wish I was him. That was envy. You know what I mean? My God, would I ever do a single thing? You know what I mean? Like, I would, nigga, no, fuck everything else, dog. Like, yeah, bro, that's a hell of a retirement plan. You know what I mean? Coach 2 teams, get fired, and just live off that for the rest of your life.
The Pistons alone still owe him $65 million.
Oh, God.
What a life.
Did he say thank you to them when they fired him? Did he thank them? Did he say, I appreciate you? Like, bro, you get to leave that dumpster fire of a team, of a franchise, and collect $65 million more. And how much do the Suns owe him? They still owe him too?
I'm looking that
the
up
Suns
right
still
now.
owe some bread?
Doesn't
you know
that shit cancel out though? If you take a new coaching job, you can't get paid.
Is it?
I
I don't know if it. I think you owe niggas what you owe niggas. You know what I'm saying?
The Suns still owe him $20 million as part of his buyout agreement.
Okay, so fine. Okay.
So 85 of them fucking things.
Hey,
Lord,
I'll not go to work for free.
85. Can you imagine the checks, the size of them fucking monthly checks? And you just sitting on your ass, nigga. You know how much golf I would play? Nigga, I'd be on the fucking PGA tour in fucking a year and a half, nigga. No fucking senior tour.
He's getting Christ. Just from the $20 million from the Suns, he's getting $555,000 a month.
Oh,
living the dream, bro. Living the motherfucking dream. I don't know if I want to hear.
That ain't even a big check.
That's from the side hustle of.
That's from the small check.
That's from the side hustle. That's the Uber check, bro.
That's the 5 to 9. That ain't even a 9 to 5, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The 9 to 5 check probably beefy as a bitch. Lord have mercy.
Detroit gave that man $65 million and said, no more NBA record losing streaks and Detroit winners for you. Here's $60 million, buddy. Beat it. Hey, don't mind if I do. Like, you wouldn't have to tell me twice.
If he's getting the $60 million from the Pistons over 5 years, they're paying him $1 million a month to not go to work, bro.
Not go to work.
Go to work.
Hey, look, we'll pay you $1 million a month not to come.
You could have given me $30 a month to not have a job.
What song is playing in the background? Gymno PD, nigga? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Oh, hey, dog, beautiful. Congratulations to him. Like you said, Tyler, best job on the planet. A fired NBA coach. Crazy.
Tried my best. I mean, can you I'm trying to imagine.
Nigga, try your worst. Because that seems like that's the way to happiness. I'll do my worst. You know what I mean? Come on. Lord have mercy.
I'm trying to imagine either one of you keeping a straight face during that meeting, bro. Like, hey, I hate to do it. Really appreciate everything you've done for us this year, but I think we're gonna have to move on. And you got, as a professional, you have to be like, wow, we really wanted to make this work. I'm really sorry to hear that, you know.
I ain't doing none of that.
Yeah. They said he had a series of meetings with Trajan from the end of the season up until the firing date, where they were touching base a couple times a week to talk about how he was going to improve his coaching and the trajectory of the Pistons. No, just
they put him on a pip,
I don't want
bro.
to do all that.
Yeah,
just give me my $60 million so I can leave.
They put him on a pip, and he said, "You just gave me the answers to the test. Like, this is what you think I'm not doing.
Yeah.
Watch how bad I can get at this." Like,
they were series of meetings, and he was like, okay, got it. Yeah, I don't think I can give Cade what he needs. I feel like Cade needs something else then, because I feel like I've exhausted everything I know how to do with Cade Cunningham, and it just won't get through. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Having those meetings with Trajan, I don't know what he has been as in the front office, or whatever. But I remember watching him with Duke. You know what I mean? That's a nigga I'm gonna look in the face and say, "Fuck you." You know what I mean? Like, that's a nigga I'm not gonna look in the face and be like, "Yeah, I'll figure it out." I'm taking the meetings from the driving range.
Nigga,
you know
you are from Alaska.
I'm sorry,
you are
bro.
a salmon. You are a pet salmon. I'm not gonna take you serious, dog.
I'm gonna look you in your fish eye face and say, "Fuck it, nigga." I'm telling you, dog. I can't really. No, man. Fuck you, man. Give me my bread. We don't need to do all this bullshit. Multiple meetings a week to see how I'm gonna improve from this nigga. I saw you against UConn, fuck nigga. You don't know nothing about that.
What about that travel you had in the championship game that
you was a bitch?
Let's talk about that.
I saw that shit, dog. You know, you got cooked, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you got to say to me, bro. I'm sorry, dog. No, it could not be me.
This is why when people talk about comparing their jobs to sports, you always have to laugh. Did you see your boss fuck up on national television in the national championship game? You know what I mean? It's just a different world, bro. It is a different world. The chat is begging us to discuss the Kyle Filipowski story. I'm not hip to this, so Jackson, can you tee up why people want us to talk about Kyle Filipowski?
I can tee up. None of you guys know about the Kyle Filipowski
I know
story.
a broad story that he's been estranged from his family because he's got a way older girlfriend, and they think that the girlfriend is grooming him and trying to take his money.
So part of the reason for that people are speculating that he slid so far in the draft into the second round is because, as Tyler said, he is estranged from his family because these are all allegations. I want to be clear. No one is, all allegations. The allegations are that he has a girlfriend who is the exact age. They're trying to figure out exactly how old she is, somewhere between 5 and 8 years older than him, which if you're an adult is not that crazy. But if you are a high school basketball star and then a college basketball star, which means you're in the 17 to 20-year-old range, 5 to 8 years, especially if you are in high school, is a
They were
large
together
amount.
when he was in high school?
There are some pictures of him being at prom with her. There's some confusion exactly about when they met, how they met.
So
but
she
the
was
allegations are that
25,
this woman
26?
is between 5 to 8 years older than him and is Mormon. And there's apparently a Mormon grooming thing that happens sometimes. Again, I'm not trying to say
believe
that
it.
This is.
I believe it.
I'm not trying to.
You're telling me it's some
and
Mormon
and
shit. I
then-
believe it.
This is like the theory that was floating out, and then to make it stranger, yesterday online, as he's being drafted and more people are bringing this story up. Someone who on Twitter is, again, this person's not verified. We don't know if it's his actual brother, but someone on Twitter who's claiming to be his brother Daniel. And says he's in replies on people on Twitter on some of these viral tweets that were going around about this Kyle Filipowski situation. And he said, "I'm Kyle's oldest brother. You all don't have a clue of the extent of the story that has to do with his girlfriend. There's a story that's been pushed under the table for nearly 2 years now." And then he's and then the person asked can you like give more people the story then? Like, what's the story? Can you like, what's the deal with Kyle? And he said, other than messaging him on his IG account, this is Daniel Filipowski again. Other than messaging Kyle on his IG account, don't know how to get in touch with him. But look up and read on Mormon grooming and brainwashing, and you'll find some introductory details in there to connect some dots into the story that's going on.
This is his brother?
This is his brother that is like publicly
allegedly
allegedly estranged, that Kyle Filipowski is not speaking to his family. And he is instead speaking and living, and
bro. It's getting real.
He's engaged to this woman now, and they're supposed to get married in August or something like that.
The good old Aaron Rodgers there. Yeah,
Bingo.
That's some freaky fucking shit, bro. And did he get drafted by the Jazz too?
And he got drafted by the Jazz.
Are you fucking kidding me?
That's why this story really picked up, because he got drafted by the Jazz. I forgot to put the exclamation point on it.
Damn, this chick must feel like Professor Xavier right now, bro.
She hit the motherfucker.
This is broad level manifestation, right?
Some people were saying she was his babysitter, like growing up. There's rumors that she was his babysitter.
No.
We don't know. There's someone saying maybe she's like a distant cousin. Like there's like a lot of stuff flying around about this story right now.
That's fucking.
But the hardest evidence about her age is that she graduated from Alabama, seemingly in a picture at Alabama graduation in 2018, which is the year that I graduated college, which would make her 28 years old. Kyle Filipowski has not graduated from Duke. He's about 20 years old.
At the youngest, she's 28, then, because she could have been a 5-6 year super senior. We don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, for women it's different, but like that is the thing. Whenever you play BYU in a sport, I noticed it just as like a 19-year-old sports writer in college. Long Beach State men's volleyball teams playing BYU. Half the BYU team had their wife or kids with them because they would go on the 2-year mission trip out of high school, come back and start college at 20. They're 24, 25 as seniors. You know what I mean? And you're like, that's definitely different. These Long Beach State kids are over here, growing goatees for the first time and, hitting a beer bong for the first time, like whatever the fuck. This is, first of all, I understand why people want us to talk about this because it sounds like something you could make into something funny, but this fucking nasty as shit to me.
It's nasty, yeah.
But I would add, and this is like a white athlete and family's perspective with the whole Mormon thing and everything. The stuff that elite athletes go through sexually is really fucking foul in terms of the way that people approach these children. And and I'm comfortable because his mom told me the story on the record. I have 100 stories I could tell you, but Peyton Watson's mom told me about when he went to the USA camp and he blew up, he jumped up. She had his social media accounts and she was like, the shit that people were sending her 16-year-old son made her stomach turn, bro. Grown people, 22-year-old women at colleges, some of whom very much seem to be connected to the colleges and the recruiting process. It's fucking gross. And it's like, we all see it, I think, sometimes from the perspective of ourselves. If I was a 5-star athlete, like, of course, that's, you're a 16-year-old, your brain's not fully developed. That looks like the greatest thing in the world, that all these people are throwing themselves at you. But from the perspective of a parent or an adult or 16-year-olds who grow up, it's fucking weird. It's like you have high school girls trying to, and so, and it's led to, not that any of the manosphere shit is justified, but it's part of like, when you hear those stories, it's part of what's fed into this generation's version of the like war of the sexes thing, is this seeing that kind of like predatory aspect of a very, very small group of women, obviously, but it's gross. And to hear that, I hope it's not the babysitter and all that. I really hope
that seems particularly foul because she saw him at such a young age and she was in their home. Yeah, as somebody they trusted. That seems very disgusting.
But did y'all hear the story Matt Stafford's wife told on a podcast? Tyler, you heard that shit?
Yeah.
She said she said, John, in college, she really wanted to, Matt Stafford, quarterback. He was with the Lions. He's with the,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So he was, I believe he played for Georgia. And I think his wife was a cheerleader or something.
He played at Georgia. Yeah.
But she said, she was trying to get Matt into like a serious relationship, and he was such a like nice guy and like very well mannered. So she was sleeping with the backup quarterback to make him jealous. Like she just told this story on a podcast. And so she was like, oh, the backup quarterback was the opposite of Matt. He was a bad boy, like, you know, so she knew it was going to drive him crazy and stuff. And she said, like, you know, and then one day, like, so he would see her car outside the athlete dorm. And he said one day he like followed her out and got in the car and was like, you shouldn't be with this guy. This isn't right. And she's like, and it was so hot, you know, and it's like, this is how people are seeing these like kids or these athletes as like investments, or as, you know, it's
how
gross,
old
bro.
were they though? How old were they?
There's no
the same
age thing
Okay.
there. It's just that like you can see why that would warp some athletes' perspective on relationships with people outside of their,
because people approach
close
them
sphere.
or getting close.
Because that's how they're being viewed.
Yeah. That's a very odd way that she thought was normal to
Right.
get the attention of a you know, a great athlete. But
Yeah, and it worked. Like they're married with like 3 kids or some shit. And he fucking, but like, why were you telling that story on a podcast, bro? That's how I guess my point is that's how normalized this stuff is.
Yeah.
That you would go on a podcast and be like, guess what I did to Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matt Stafford when he was in college.
I was letting the bad boy hit these cheeks to get to Stafford. You hear me? You know what I mean? Came in the side door and got him, and now we're happily ever after. And she sent a thank you card to the backup every Christmas with the family. Thank you, bro. Thanks for taxing me.
Thank you for being the
So
entry level dick on the way to my dream job.
Dropping
On the
off
way to
that
my
entry
dream
level
gig.
dick. Where did that dream dick?
What was crazy was what she actually posted was an apology, John. She posted an apology to him because he is married to a different UGA cheerleader who may or may not have known about that relationship, and was like, I'm really sorry that I brought your family into all this. I wasn't trying, you know, it's like people just get on podcasts and forget that like you're being recorded, bro.
And why would you, like, you are giving the college football fan base some fodder, the most fanatical fan base in all of American sports, dog. Like, why light that fire? You know,
Particularly Georgia fans.
yeah.
Georgia fans are known in the SEC, which is nasty as a whole, as being particularly bad, you know, particularly fanatical. So yeah, crazy.
She said, to this beautiful fam, I am sorry for the media storm that happened last week that made its way into your lives. You had zero involvement in what I spoke about. And in fact, it was y'all's relationship in college that I looked up to and wanted for me and Matthew.
Too late. It's over with.
That's the
That's the
backup quarterback.
and his
his
wife
family?
that he married.
Oh wow, plot twist.
Hey,
Oh my God.
She probably want. She probably want that fair one, dog.
Yeah, you
I need more.
She is owed a fair one.
She is owed a fair one. You playing, and you shouldn't be. Ain't nothing to be played with over here. Tripping. She tweaked. Oh man.
Sorry, that was why I had to find it to show you the photo.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
That's
Crazy.
Does anyone else have any other topics, or is there anything else the chat wants us to talk about?
The chat is just they're just going crazy over this Matt Stafford story.
I just like
Right.
that man went and sat in their car and said, "You shouldn't be doing this." Really, R&B face ass, bro. Really, Matt?
you shouldn't be with him. He's not for you. That's what he
had. After she had left his room, the backup quarterback's room, after she had left from seeing him, like, you had a heart to heart with her.
Smelling like sex,
brother. I was about to say, you're not.
Like,
she was not going in the male athlete's dorm room bathroom to take a shower. You know what I mean?
You had a heart to heart with this woman while she had dick breath, bro. Like, you know, y'all in that car, bury your emotions, windows foggy as hell from that dick breath.
The nigga forehead still wet in the room, nigga. His brow's still wet. Sweat ain't even dried on his forehead, and you already trying to save him. You know what I mean? Damn, nigga. You know what I mean? Damn, come on, on,
Yo,
man.
that is crazy. And the apology is crazy. The apology is crazy because it sort of doubles down on the timing of it all. Does it not? Am I not understanding
it
it right?
does.
She's like, I looked up to your
Because
relationship.
it kind of then sounds
Which
like
means
Sounds like
that
she was-
during your
she was
relationship,
throwing it, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Nasty.
triples down.
Nasty.
Triples down on the
Nasty.
time. And then she
Triples
did the
down.
thing. I hate
Triples
when people
down.
do this. Like, I can't believe that this thing happened to you. This thing is you.
Yeah, you're the thing.
You can't believe
You're
that
the thing,
you
Ben
happened
Grimm.
to them. Like the media storm was you. It was you being on a podcast talking. It was you. There's no like this comet hit your world. You are the comet. You killed the dinosaurs.
You are the
Like,
tornado,
this
nigga. You're the comet. You're the
that's
comet,
crazy.
nigga. Come on. Sheesh.
I just think like, hey,
Like-
bro, if that's how she got with Matt Stafford, like what, like y'all are together, you're married, you got kids, you're millionaires, all this other shit. When you get married, you got to delete the fucking cache of those stories in your brain. Like-
Especially if you're like, if the media cares to this extent about what you have to say. You know what I
Right.
mean? Come on, G. You feel me? That's crazy.
But
That's
like,
crazy. Can you imagine?
you
in
can't
college
even, but
being
you
Matt
can't even.
Stafford?
What's that?
Could you imagine in college being a fucking future NFL quarterback?
Future
number one pick.
number
Stafford was
one
that guy.
pick.
Yeah.
You see a woman walking out of a room, you know what I mean? Hair disheveled, sex dripping
Stop.
from her fucking
Stop.
body. And you're like, you deserve better. I could never. Bro, that is so crazy.
I
Like,
wonder if he was
he
getting
was
in the
so-
car to tell her to stop fucking up the backup quarterback's relationship.
You feel me? Like that would have made more sense.
Wow. Wow.
Damn, bro.
This story wild as hell.
You deserve better. That's what. Who is he, Joe? Hey, that's a yearner, though. We said we want more yearning.
Stop.
That's a yearner like a
That's what the
motherfucker.
chat was
That's
saying.
a.
That's what
Hey,
the chat
we
was
said we
saying.
want more yearning. That's a hell of a yearner, bro. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
and actually, that's the exact story why this young generation is afraid to yearn. Because they're afraid to get Stafforded out here, bro.
Because their wife gonna come and say how they was, how they dried the sex off my face. Dabbed the sweat sex off my forehead. And threw that cape on, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
Brushed my wet, stringy hair out of my face.
Oh man.
You know, the juice is worth the squeeze on the yearning. That's all I'll say. You know, yes.
play the long game, baby.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Oh,
Sometimes the
man.
orange is the sour orange, you know, but you still got to squeeze it and find out. You got to.
Ignore that she smells like condom. Think about the future. Oh man.
Motherfucking man.
Motherfucking mess.
Motherfucking man. Goddamn.
Of course it's a man, though.
It's kind of insane that she posted a picture of the dude and his wife and their 3 kids.
Like,
And I
It's
think in
insane.
her
I didn't
head,
mean
she's
to
probably
bring more attention to you. Here's a picture of you and your family. Really,
It's a-
motherfucker?
it's
What are we
doing?
But I mean,
I want to
it's
make
a
sure that
person-
the second graders at your son's elementary school know it is you that I'm talking about. Like,
I mean, yeah.
I think in her head, she's doing the jackal victim complex. She's like, we're talking about children. Like, you know, she's hiding behind that family photo of someone else's family. That's kind of my feeling. But that's crazy that she
Right.
was like, went to their social media and was like, let me find a really wholesome looking picture of this family
That's
to put on
crazy.
my IG stories to
That's
like,
just so
you know,
crazy.
that's the smoke pellet she's trying to drop to get away from the penguin right now. Like,
Yeah. College football girlfriends turned wives. They're a special bunch, bro. Like who was it? Would y'all remember when Ryan Tannehill's wife turned in a rental car and had like a motherfucking AR-15 still in the back seat and shit. Y'all remember that?
No.
In college, she did
No.
this?
No, they met in college. They're college sweethearts.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
turned.
No,
Yeah.
I don't.
So she had an
believe that. That's
AR-15
hilarious.
in the back of a rental. Dude, what the fuck?
No.
Gotta keep it on you at all times. She ain't slipping. You can see, you know what I mean? You know that? Golly. Anyway.
All right. That's all the time we got. Thanks to everyone in the chat for hanging out. Thanks for bringing the Kyle Filipowski story to our attention to get us to the Matt Stafford story. We appreciate you. We will be back on Sunday night with our next House of Dragons recap. Appreciate everyone. If you're listening to this in the podcast, youtube.com/@Jenkins and Jones. You could come hang out with us in the chat. Catch the shows live on YouTube. We will be, like I said, live after the next House of Dragons Sunday night. We'll see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.